I don't even know if we want to mention the Warriors by name after the most humiliating blowout,
Yeah.
I think, in NBA history. On a
Well,
side note, it was 23-24, right? That was the only time the Warriors were up. Then after that, the Grizzlies went on a 90-29 run.
they outscored him by 61 points.
Yeah. All without Ja Morant, their superstar.
Yeah. Well,
um,
um, another thing while we're comparing Giannis to the other superstars is I have never seen any other player exhaust themselves as much as Giannis does, to the point where like he'll literally have to call and like sub himself out just so he can sit down for like 50 seconds and then come back in. Did you notice that last game? Or
I did.
it was either game 5, or I think he's done it in a couple other games where like you can tell he's so physically exhausted, but he doesn't look like he's slowing down in the game.
Yeah.
And like then he'll just like wave for a second and then come out for a minute and then come back in. I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen a superstar exert that much energy.
I've seen LeBron in 2018 when it was just him on that Cavs
That's
team.
true.
Do you remember those last when they were down 3-2 against
Yeah, that's true.
Austin? He played all 48 minutes of both of those games.
Yeah.
Um, to the point of but LeBron's was different because you could tell there were plays he kind of took off and he did his rest that way.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but Giannis doesn't really do that. Like if he's on the court, he's giving you his all.
Exactly.
But yeah, I would throw in LeBron for that. And then aside from that, I know KD played all like 53 minutes of that game 7 overtime
Yeah.
too.
But what I feel like the difference is like you can visibly see them being exhausted. Like as in their pace slows down, they are like on the defensive end, they're not really trying. But I feel like with Giannis, it's like visually and like physically, he looks like he's going the same speed the entire game. You can just tell how out of breath he is and stuff like that.
Okay, I kind of get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I will say though, after watching this, I'm like, dang, are the Suns gonna lose again to the Bucks? Like, I don't know if if the best defense in the NBA / best record in the NBA since what, January?
January 1st.
Yeah. can't beat can't beat Giannis with no Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
Like who can beat them?
Yeah.
Like the only thing I'm like, the only way that they lose, I think Milwaukee loses, is if like Drew Holiday and Bobby Portis both get injured. And I hope that doesn't happen. I never want any players to get
Yeah.
injured. But I'm like, it's gonna take like I think that's the only thing that's gonna cause them to lose.
Yeah, I agree.
Lose a
Well, and
series.
the thing is, like the Boston defense, they're statistically not even slowing him down at all. I think he's
Yeah.
averaging 35 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists in the series.
Now I will say they're making it more difficult
Yeah,
on
his
him to
shooting
score. He's still
percentage.
getting his numbers because he's that great, but
Yeah,
it's not like he's just running and dunking in transition like
yeah.
he did throughout the regular
Like
season.
his shooting percentage has dipped to I think it's like 48% or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, man, seeing what they did to KD and Kyrie, and then
They
seeing
held
what
KD to a 16-point game.
exactly.
Can you imagine if LeBron or Giannis had a 16-point game?
Oh, I know.
That would be the end.
Exactly. By the way, you've been frozen for like a solid 2 minutes. I don't know if you want to minimize and come back.
Am I unfrozen now?
Oh, yeah.
You tell me this after 2 minutes? I've been
Well,
still.
I didn't want to break up the conversation,
Oh, okay.
but and it was frozen on a funny picture too, so hopefully the viewers will get a kick out of it.
Nice. Sweet.
But yeah.
Well, and then can you imagine the flack that they would be getting if they had been blown out like the Warriors were blown out last night.
Oh, I know.
Like,
Where
I
was
still don't. Or
Steph?
go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, like, where was Steph in that?
Where was anyone?
Well, but if when you're regarded as a top 5 player in the NBA, that's your job to stop the run. Like, okay, I'm gonna go get a bucket and stop this 90 to 29 run.
Yeah. Well, and like, I don't know why Golden State didn't go in with the mentality of we're putting them away, and we know we're either going to face the Mavericks or the Suns. Hopefully that series goes long, and we'll just have some time off, baby. We'll just rest. Exactly. But nope, instead, you're going to a game 6. I mean, I don't think that Memphis is going to come back and win. But it should be noted, the last time the Warriors were in the playoffs and didn't have Kevin Durant, they were up 3-1.
That's true.
And
the fact that the Grizzlies are tied winning percentage-wise with the Suns for the best record in the NBA this year without Ja Morant.
So, oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like, so you have to think that basically they're playing the best team in the NBA now. Because somehow they're better with Ja not playing.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. And I wouldn't expect in the long term that to be the case. Like, if we compare this over like 4 or 5 seasons, right? I don't think that, like, this is a weird anomaly this year. But like, oh, what was I going to say? Give me a sec. I lost my train of thought. No, it was important. Oh, Taylor Jenkins. Mad props to you. I'm pretty sure he was the runner-up for Coach of the Year. Lost to Monty Williams.
Yeah.
Which Monty Williams deserved it. But anyways, Taylor Jenkins, mad props to you for putting Steven Adams in. They destroy when Adams is on the court.
Yeah.
Like, it is night and day difference. Yeah. And I mean, Steven Adams is the strongest man in the world. So
yeah, it's true.
like, there's no stopping him. They get all the offensive rebounds, all the defensive rebounds. There's no second chance points for the Warriors. And the biggest mistake they made was in game 4. They didn't have Adams finish it. And then the Warriors came back and won the game.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Taylor Jenkins made that adjustment. It's like, all right, Adams is going to be a huge part of this rotation because they just seem to play better with him.
Yeah. No, I totally co-sign everything.
Yeah.
But by the way, we've gone like 20 minutes, so we should probably wrap it up.
All right. I guess we'll close out with this. I don't remember the last time I've seen all 4 conference semifinals at a 3-2. Like,
true.
This is the closest playoffs I think I've ever seen, and it's so exciting to see what's going to happen in the conference finals and the finals. Because, like, I would be surprised if the Celtics come back and win in 7. I think they're done. But any of the other teams coming back that are down 2-3 right now, coming back and winning in 7, I wouldn't be surprised if we had Philly and then Mavericks and Grizzlies. I like, it wouldn't shock me. It'd be really cool, but I'd be freaking out. But
no, I know.
And like, I could see any of those making the finals too.
Well, and it's crazy how every single team left, I could see winning the championship.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't surprise me if any of the teams left won it. And also, I feel like the first round series were some of the closest we've ever had. Like, there was only one sweep, and then we had like scary series where it's like, oh, are the Timberwolves about to upset? Or like,
I mean, that was tied 2-2. That was anyone's game, or that was anyone's.
And just like there were so many, because usually the 4-5 seeds are usually the ones that are like, oh, this is a 7-game series. But like, go ahead.
Well, then I was going to point out too, the Suns and the Pelicans, the 1-8, that was tied 2-2.
Yeah, exactly. There's just so much polarity now that so many all-stars are distributed on so many teams, and it's so much better. Then when the Warriors had 4, Cavaliers had 2 or 3, whatever you want to call Kevin Love. And like
Two and
it
a
was
half.
just like everyone was just building these super teams of 3 all-stars minimum, and it was
And
like not even fun.
yeah, this is a very nice, rejuvenating time in the NBA. I love
Yeah.
it. But this might also go to show that, because I think we can agree, LeBron was the most dominant player of the 2010s,
Yeah.
hands down. Like there was the gap between him and second place was really far, and I
Yeah.
think that's going to be the same with Giannis and
2020s.
in the 2020s, right?
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if the same thing that happened to LeBron happens with Giannis, where these super teams form because people
True.
think this is the only way we can beat this guy.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
I think we would all agree LeBron would have 5 rings right now instead of, or no, he would have 6 rings because he would have won those 2 with
Yeah.
Cleveland when Kevin Durant was on the, like, I don't think anyone could have stopped him other
Yeah,
than the second and third best players on the same team
exactly.
on a 73 win team.
Yeah, it would be like if, I don't know, like Luca and Embiid joined, and then they also had like another top 20 player, or like some of these up and coming people who are like jarring for first or for second and third and fourth best player, just
Yeah,
like
you get
teamed
like
up.
Jason Tatum, Joel Embiid, and
And,
like Luca on the same
yeah,
team.
or Devin Booker or something.
Yeah, something like that. Some super team forms to stop the Bucks. Like it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see if that happens.
Yeah, because it's weird. The Bucks resemble that Cavaliers team in my opinion. Like they don't really have a big three where it's like they have 3 all-stars, which is kind of like how Cleveland was, because Kevin Love wasn't really an all-star then, and even
Well, the
Kyrie
year they
wasn't.
won, they weren't all
Exactly.
stars.
And even Kyrie wasn't an all-star every year. And so it's kind of like Chris Middleton is like the Kyrie where it's like, yeah, he's an all-star, but it's like some years he might not make the all-star team, you
Yeah,
know? And then Drew Holiday isn't an all-star, even though he probably is, but kind of like
yeah,
Kevin Love. And then it just a lot of similarities, in my opinion.
yeah, yeah. It's interesting, and also it's kind of the same. It's just more of a small market team.
Yeah,
Hadn't had
exactly.
success in
50 years.
yeah,
Because literally the Bucks last year winning was 50 years since they
in
had won.
71 with
Yeah,
Kareem. Yeah.
exactly. So I don't
Or
know.
no,
It's
it
just
was
cool. No,
74.
71.
Was it 71?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, I can't remember. It was in the 70s. Whatever.
No, yeah, it was 71. But
But
anyway,
yeah.
should probably wrap up.
Anyways, we could talk about the NBA all day. But basically, yeah, Giannis is the greatest basketball player in the world, and every NBA team should be terrified to face the Bucks. And hopefully the Suns have enough depth and team chemistry and to overcome them.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't agree with that, but that's my
Well, I mean, I think they could, but I'm pulling for Bucks.
yeah. It'll be fun.